is in you, then he's working in you to do what pleases him. But if the seed of the Father is not in you, then guess what? You swole. Ain't no free from sin. If you're not the seed of the Father, then there's no freedom from sin. You were already born in sin, shaping in iniquity. You already screwed from the get. That's why I can't understand people celebrating birthdays. That's hilarious to me. We're going to celebrate being born in sin and shaping in iniquity. Again, you don't get a special day. The only person worthy of a special day is the Father, and that's every day. Okay? Freedom from sin. Restoration back to the state that we were in when the Father created us in the garden. All right, that's restored relationship with the Father. Look at the story of Israel in captivity in Egypt. That is an example of the bondage of sin. Exodus chapter 1. Check that out in your study time. Exodus chapter 1. Read it. Read from there and read forward. You will see the absolute bondage of sin live and in living color right there. Lying preachers, the difference between the sent ones and went ones. We talked about that. The message is not the same as those who are called of the Father, who are chosen of the Father. Their message is totally different. It's not a message of freedom to you. It's a message of bondage. It's more bondage. It's more ritual. It's more man-made tradition. It's more doctrines of men. Okay? So that is not the same message. It's a fleshly message. Yes, it's subtle, but that goes right back up to the top when we were talking about those damnable heresies and bringing in these things privately, meaning subtly, meaning undercover. It's not just blatant and out in your face that this junk is flat out misuse of scripture, not unless you study the word for yourself. But see, that's the point of studying and knowing him for yourself, being in relationship with him. Because see, if you know him, you know his character. When somebody says something off, it don't take you but 2 seconds. What? What did they just say? Okay, now you tripping. Because my daddy don't talk like that. My father don't do that. So what are you talking about? What father is this that you represent? Because it ain't mine. Okay? What are you saying, Valerie? Oh, okay. She's talking to you, baby. Let's get to this. That fleshly message. It's a subtle misuse of scripture. Paul saying that I would do, I don't. All have sinned. They use these things. Yeah, Paul said, what I would do, I don't do. Oh, wretched man that I am. Yeah, they want to harp on that because they want to live in sin. And we can really get to that shortly. They use scriptures like all have sinned. Yeah, but you ain't giving it in context and you ain't breaking down who's being talked to and what is the context of this conversation. What is sin? Let's talk about that. It is missing the mark. What is the mark? That's the question. This is a mark that is not set by man or established by man. This mark is a mark that is set by Yahweh. He sets the bar. Okay? He sets the bar, not man. I laugh at all these religious people who base their having missed the mark on man-made doctrines and traditions of men, such as some of the stuff that we just discussed, that I just threw out. All have sinned. Oh, what you telling me is we can live a life totally free from sin? I'm telling you we can. It's absolutely possible. I wouldn't tell you something that I've never experienced. It's absolutely possible to be free from sin. It's absolutely your choice to be free from sin. Missing the mark is having no reverence for Yahweh. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Remember I told you when your love for the Father exceeds the love for you, then you're going to walk in this freedom. Because see, a lot of people, you still being taught in the 4 walls to love yourself. All of this self stuff. I can see self-control because that's temperance. That's what the scripture talks about. You're supposed to be controlling yourself. All this, God help me. No. Help yourself. Control your flesh. Put that mess under and keep it under. That's your job. Okay? But missing the mark is a position of having no reverence for the Father. That's all that boils down to at the end of the day. You don't reverence him. It's just like me, my husband and I, and our children. At any time they decide they want to go outside of what we said, they don't respect us. They have said that I don't respect what you're talking about. I'm going to do what I want to do. Same thing. Exact same attitude, exact same spirit. Okay? Let's talk about the most widely used scripture when discussing sin. That's what I want to get to. And Marla, you asked this question. Let's get on it. Romans chapter 7. This is Paul's discussion about the difference between sin under the law of flesh and freedom from sin in Yahshua the Messiah by the law of the Spirit. Let's read it real quick. Faith, I hear your voice, and I'm doing the broadcast. Faith, I hear your voice. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that I do not. But what I hate, that I do. This was what was asked of Marla. She wanted me to break down this whole Paul discussion. I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh. You see, he's quantifying here. We're going to go back and break it down. In my flesh dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me. Oh, I didn't forget you, boo. I'm going to remember what you say. For to will is present with me. But how to perform that which is good, I find not. Verse 20. Now, if I do that which, now if I do that I would not, it is more I that do it. But sin, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Let me read that again so that you get the context of that. Now if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Now we're back to that seed again. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of Yahweh after the inward man. But I see another law in my members, in my flesh. See, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Yahweh through Yahushua the Messiah, our master. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of Yahweh, but with the flesh, the law of sin. Now let's go back to the top here. For what I do, for that which I do, I allow not. When you look this up, it says, what is it? Oh, okay, my husband is talking. It says, for that which I do, I allow not. What does this allow mean? It means I don't know. But see, you know what? Because we're looking at King's English and what we talk about now is two different things. That's why I tell y'all, study the scripture. Because they translated these words. These are not these specific words. They are translated from another language. You must study these words. You must break these scriptures down point by point by point. If you don't, you're going to be messed up. You're not going to understand it. It says, for that which I do, I allow not. I don't know what I do. I don't know. For what I would do, what's he saying? I don't know what I'm subject to do. For the stuff that I would do, I don't do that. You know? But what I hate, I do that. I don't know what I'm subject to do. Okay? Because I can't even get this straight. He said, if then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. So if I do that which I wouldn't do, I am showing proof that the law is good because I need the law. It's necessary. It's a good thing because now I know that this is wrong. Okay. Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Now again, we're back to that seed. It's not I that do it, but it's the seed that's in me. We're all born in sin, shaping in iniquity. This is all seed based, folks. The seed that's in you is the seed that you're going to reproduce and keep bearing fruit from. Okay. For I know that in me, is he saying that in himself as a born again believer? Nope. We're going to get there shortly. He's saying in my flesh. That is in my flesh. In my flesh dwelleth no good thing. What is the flesh? What is the spirit? They're two separate things. Flesh operates a certain way. Flesh operates in lust. It operates in the things that it desires. It operates in worldly desires, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life. It operates in things of the world, not according to the spirit. So he's saying, I know that in my flesh dwelleth no good thing. In other words, without the Father, in my flesh, I'm all jacked up.